I was having a conversation with someone who just quite didn't believe that it was really unaffordable to buy a house now. I don't know if they've been living under the rock or what's going on, but they happily purchased their house 7 years ago here in the Litchfield Park, Goodyear area. And they just said, I don't get what the big deal is. Everyone just needs to save up their money, stop using down payment assistance, and just freaking get to work and get a house. Now, I totally get they're in the minority, but it makes me think maybe there's a lot of people that just don't know or don't really understand why things are as unaffordable as they are. Instead of just bashing your head in with like, hey, things are unaffordable, I thought I'd just break down for someone who maybe does not quite clear on why Phoenix, Arizona right now is unaffordable and what needs to happen price-wise or income-wise for affordability to catch back up. So first and foremost, let's define affordability. The dictionary describes it as a state of being cheap enough for people to be able to buy. Now, who are we going to define as people? Well, in this case, we're going to use the median income, which, by the way, does not encompass everybody. There's still a lot of people who are below the income, but at least as a standard, I believe people who are making around the median income should be able to afford a house. If we look at the U.S. Census Bureau here, and this is a little outdated with 2022, but it says the median household income in 2022 was $72,581. Now, this is just in Arizona, of course, because this video is about just Phoenix. So it's safe to assume in Arizona specifically, that's probably gone up. So let's just say about $80,000 in the last 2 years, just as a rough estimate, but please know I am adding about $7,500 on top of that. So basically, someone who is making $80,000 in the Phoenix, Arizona area should be able to comfortably afford a home, right? Let's break that down. Let's assume that this person is living a perfect life and has absolutely no debt. If they're making $80,000 a year, that's gross, by the way, gross income, that means they're approximately making about $6,666 per month gross. Now, a lender will basically get half of this and determine that, hey, they can qualify up to $3,333. That'll get you about a house between $450,000 to $550,000-ish pretty comfortably. But here's a problem with this idea. There is a huge difference between what you can afford and what you can qualify for. Let me explain. Remember, they qualified up to $3,333 because they're approximately grossing about $6,666. Wow, that's a lot of sixes, $6,666. But here's the truth. They're not actually taking home $6,666. They're actually taking home about, 80%, 75% of that. So let's use 75%. So really, they're only taking home about $4,999, or let's just call it $5,000. And if we use what you're actually taking home, we can establish, using a rule of budgeting, what your monthly payment should be. Now, with $5,000 in mind, there's a lot of rules of thoughts out there, but my favorite is your monthly payment cannot exceed over 20 to 30% of your net income monthly for you to not be considered house broke. So if we push this and we say 30% of our net income, which was about $5,000, is approximately $1,499. So that means your monthly payment cannot exceed $1,500 in order for you to be considered not house broke. So what does a $1,500 monthly payment entail? If we get a $300,000 house with 3.5% down using an FHA loan with a 6% interest rate, that monthly payment is $2,078. So there's two things that need to happen, and this is using $300,000, by the way. The interest rate needs to be at least half, so let's go to 3%, which we haven't seen since the pandemic days, to be around the $1,500 mark, or we need to, let's say interest rates stay around 5 or 6, maybe 5%, but prices need to drop at least, $100,000? What does that equal? So that would be approximately, that gives us $1,300. So maybe not 100. Maybe we'll do 250. Yeah, around there, 250, 240. So prices need to drop approximately about $60,000 in order for us to get there. So right now, we have no idea interest rates are going to ever drop that low. So let's just assume basically that $250,000 is what's going to get that monthly payment for someone who makes $80,000 a year to have it be affordable. So now let's pull up the MLS, because yes, I am a real estate agent and I have access to this. And I can show you, okay, what is popping up under 250? Let's see. Well, 232 houses pop up. And I'm focusing only on single family dwellings, but if I take this off, then we see 1,600. Now, out of these, which ones actually qualify for an FHA mortgage? Only 383 of them. So basically, and of course, we're not retired. We're not going to retire any soon. So let's remove the age restricted ones. Age restricted meaning people like who live in a retirement community only, stuff like that. So let's not include those. That reduces it even further. So what kind of houses work in this range? Well, let's kind of focus in the central Phoenix area, East Valley, West Valley area. Let's not go out of town quite yet. And let's see what kind of houses pop up. About 58 of them pop up. Scrolling at the top, we see houses like this, like the townhouse looking houses. Not too bad. Townhouse. How many of them are actually houses? Let's see. Out of 58, 0. So there is no houses for sale under $250,000. Once again, we're talking about affordability here. It makes you think, out of people that are buying right now, how many of them are really stretching their budget out? Like how many of them are being put in a position where there's like, yeah, we're at 50% of our net income, but we'll be fine. That's what everyone else is doing, right? And that's kind of the kind of behavior that led to some kind of massive crash like it did back in the 2005, 2010 era. It's concerning because it's not quite there yet. Affordability isn't there. Affordability will not really return for people who are making over 80,000 until we're at least about 250K. But for everyone else right now, what price do you need to spend? Well, if I put 350 and under, then we have some more houses start to pop up, about 120 of them. The cheapest one being in like central Phoenix, about 259, like older houses in Avondale, Phoenix, 280, 295. We're looking at those. The first like HOA community-ish house is like El Mirage for like 320. 320, that's going to be a monthly payment like at least low 2000s or even high like $1,800 range. It's still in there. The good news is that home values are dropping, so there should be some benefit there. Interest rates should be dropping, which should be some benefit there. But really, the effect of houses really increasing at a rapid rate over the last 3 or 4 years has been completely detrimental to people who are looking to buy who are not making $80,000. Now, once again, we're talking only about people that are making $80,000. Let's like hold a moment of silence for everyone who's out there, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000. Like I remember time, because I've been doing this about a decade, where if you had like one person working a full-time job that you could afford a home, because houses were like 150, 200,000 then. It's not that no more. And here's the truth. Our price is going to drop in Phoenix, yes. But are prices ever going to drop to the point where those folks can afford it? Probably not. The reality is Phoenix has grown and is continuing to grow at a really rapid rate. We have all kinds of companies and whatnot moving and building out here. So I don't see it likely that we'll go under 250. But I can see us going through a 300 to 350,000 range around there. So affordability has been deeply affected. I don't want to hear this whole nonsense about just pull yourself up by the bootstraps and get it going. Phoenix has grown a lot in value, and it doesn't, although there are prices dropping, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a massive drop. So what do you guys think? How has your lives been affected by the affordability in Phoenix? Are you not able to buy, or were you able to buy then and now you cannot buy because you're stuck in this position? I would love to hear from you guys. If you're looking to work with an agent who's honest, reliable, and just awesome and cool and handsome, you guys know. Sorry, I can't say it with a straight face. You can just go to my website below to sign up and start browsing some houses, or you can just schedule an appointment with me whenever you're ready. So links are in the description. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. YouTube thinks you should watch this video next, so go check it out. See ya.